There are certain truths of science. Where are the problems, do you think?
Well, I mean, so the first thing, what are we meaning when we talk about truth? I mean, fundamentally. So do we mean the Old English term true, meaning faithful, adhering to promises? Do we mean the kind of meaning that develops that we would probably understand relating to facts, which comes in 13th century onwards? What are we talking about? Do we mean eternal truth, something that can never be doubted, of which we can be absolutely certain? This is an enormously complex term. And I think I was talking about this with John Ellis, who's a brilliant CERN physicist and cosmologist, and he was asked the question, why does the world exist? To which he replied, how the bloody hell should I know? Which I thought, was a perfectly rational response to this question. I mean, he advances the Big Bang theory, which has been a fantastically successful theory within science, of how the universe might exist. But this question of why, this truth of why, this anterior question of, what are we doing, who are we, who are these people that are contemplating the universe? These are massively indeterminate further questions, I'd say.
But there is no valid question that begins with why. If every valid question begins with how, and questions that begin with why...
Why is that, Peter?
Is that not a limit?
Why should you exclude why as a category of interrogation?
Because they are extrapolations of human experience, and they cloud the issue. So you ask questions, why are we here? It's simply an extrapolation of human anxiety.
No, so what do we mean? What do I mean in the 70, 80 years of my life? It's not an anxiety, it's something everyone has to grapple with every day.
Don't confuse the question. What you've got to do is that science approaches absolute truth by replacing all why questions with how questions. And there is no valid why question.
In science?
Anywhere.
But that's a huge limit. I mean, that's your prerogative as a scientist. You place a limit, but we're discussing limits.
Do you believe
that? Is a limit.
What's wrong with taking limits? I mean, limits are clarifications.
Right.
I'm not quite
yes
sure.
Or no is the answer to that.
I'm not quite sure what Peter means when he says there are no valid why questions. On the face of it, one can say, why is it that water expands when it freezes?
No, you then replace that by how is it that on the basis of the molecular structure of water, it expands when it freezes?
But
and you see a very different content to the why version versus the how version. It seems to me these are just variants on exactly the same thing.
There is no purpose in water. There is only properties of water. And I think by extrapolation, there is no purpose in us. There is only how do we come to be in this particular position.